You're listening to the homeeducationpodcast.uk, your number one stop for home educating stories, ideas, tips, and adventures. With me today, we have Toad.
Hello, my name is Toad and I am 7 in June the 25th. Bye.
Okay, yes, welcome, Toad. We also have Paul with us today.
Hello there, and I am 41 years old, 42 on June the 4th.
Thank you for that. We do also have a 7-year-old daughter called Frogger, and we have Baby G, who is 17 maybe months old now, and they may or may not be joining us at some point. On today's show, we talk about our do-it-yourself Halloween party. We get involved in the North York Moors Explorer Club, and Frogger and Toad share their scores of the week. This Halloween, we decided, because the children are too old to go to mother and toddler groups and the sorts of clubs where they usually have Halloween parties in school, obviously, we decided to do a Halloween party in our own house. So we invited a few of the children's friends, and we just wanted to talk about that, just to let you know that you don't have to go over the top. We did go to 2 other Halloween functions this year, didn't we, Toad?
Yep, but I didn't like them.
What did you not like about them?
The dancing, and that's all you were allowed to do. Dance.
Dance. That is all that they were doing, which is great, and some children really enjoy that. But dancing's not for everybody. So we decided to when we had our own party, to make up some fun games. Toad, can you tell us about what we made where we had to be spun around?
Pig on the witch's wart.
Yeah, that's right. We, instead of doing pin the tail on the donkey, we put pin the wart on the witch, which just involved me drawing a very rough sketch of a witch in felt tip and colouring her in, and then making a little green wart. So we used one of my scarves, and we tied it around the children's heads and spun them around quite quickly 4 times and asked them to find the witch's face so they could put the wart on. It was quite amusing. Where did you put them?
I put it on the paper on the door.
Yeah, once you got it on the door.
And once I got it on Felicity.
And once you stuck it on Felicity, a moving target.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few warts that ended up on doors and pictures, and definitely not on the poster. So that was quite good fun. Everybody enjoyed that. We also did have a little bit of music, and we'd made our own playlist by creating a playlist on YouTube, which is really easy to do. And we had a little bit of not a dancing competition, but we did play musical bumps in the night. What did you have to do there, Toad?
You had to dance.
Yeah.
And when the music stopped, it was in the night, and when the music stopped, you had to sit down, and if you didn't, when everybody else did, you're out, but you can still dance and you get a chocolate ball.
Yeah, that's right, our little chocolate pumpkins that we did. So the last person down, they were the ones who were out, but you were still allowed to dance, because we had all sorts of ages. It's very difficult to contain 2-year-olds. And to stop them dancing when they wanted to dance. And we also played with the music. We played musical weeping angel statues. I don't know if any of our listeners have seen Doctor Who. If not, let me tell you about these statues. They look like angels, and when you're not looking at them, they come to life. And once they've seen you and you've seen them, then that's it. Every time you close your eyes, even if you blink just for half a millisecond, they will move towards you until they get you. So they're a little bit frightening, and so we were playing that by Paul. You were involved in this one, weren't you? And you were hiding and then appearing, and they had to stay still. So the person who was the best statue, they won.
Yeah, it was basically first person to move was out, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. So everybody enjoyed that as well, and it was not too much of a complicated game for all ages to get involved in. We also then moved on to 10 Beast Bowling, where we used paper cups. We stuck little Halloween pictures on them, and then knocked them down with an apple. And you got 15 points for knocking them all down, 10 points for knocking some of them down, and 1 point if you just threw the ball, because there was a lot of... we couldn't actually find the ball, so that's why we had to use an apple, and this apple was being launched down the corridor. So safety first, everybody. Be careful when we're throwing apples around. But we were also recycling our apples, because what else did we do with our apples?
We played apple bobbing. And it's really fun.
It was good fun, wasn't it?
Even Daddy had a go, and I think Daddy was in competition with one of the other daddies to see who could gurgle the most. In fact, people thought that Daddy was drowning at one point.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. You were under there for a long time.
I thought I made it look really good.
Yeah, you did look like you were drowning, which is great for Halloween.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
So to make the apple bobbing a little bit more fun, we also put some food colouring in, pretended that it was monster blood, which was yellow. It'd probably be more effective with red. Sorry, Toad, what was that?
Oppie.
Oppie.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Oh, monster wait. Oh, dear.
Yes. Well, the liquid that we did the apple bobbing with was kind of a greeny colour, wasn't it? Yellowy, greeny colour.
Yeah.
It did look a bit like wee.
Yeah.
I told Foxy, or the other dad, that it was wee when he asked.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh well, I'm still up for it." So.
Oh dear. Thankfully, it wasn't we listeners who might be taking us literally. Literally. Oh dear, that was hard to say.
Just what was it though?
It was
Never
was
did find
water.
out.
It was water with yellow food colouring in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so the final game to finish off was a mummy run, and that didn't involve me running backwards and forwards. What was the mummy run, Toad?
Well, you might know Egyptians, mummies.
Egyptian mummies, yes. Tell me more.
And you had to wrap somebody around in paper.
What kind of paper?
Toilet paper.
Toilet roll. Okay.
Yeah, not paper.
Clean toilet
that's
roll.
okay.
Thank you.
Yes. And you had to win, and who got there first won, and my team won.
Your team won.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Your team compared to the other team were being very precise and careful, which isn't really great because it was a race. So the first team back, we had to have you had to have toilet roll around each of the legs, once around the waist and one piece around the head, run to the end of the room and back, and that team won. So all of these activities, they took up probably about an hour altogether. So they
They turned into monsters?
they all turned
They were
into
sick? They had
monsters.
food poisoning
I
after
don't
the
know what I'm
urine
saying.
apple bobbing?
Yes, quite possibly. So all of these activities took just over an hour. It was a 2-hour party altogether. By the time we'd had all of the introductions, the children had danced for a while, then we had food, we'd taken up our 2 hours. And the best thing about these games is that they didn't actually cost anything. They were all just things that when you're home educating that you have anyway. I think the only thing I bought was some paper cups, which are recyclable. Hooray! We do like our recyclable cups. So all the things we already had in, such as just printing off some clip art pictures that we used on Google search. We don't have the old-fashioned clip art, but if you have clip art at home, that would be fine. You just print it off, cut them out, stick them on. Bobbing for apples, obviously all you need is a ball, some water, some apples, some Monster Wee. Making a playlist, we did it through YouTube, really easy to do. And pinning the wart on the witch, all you needed is some felt tips and paper. Didn't cost a thing, and I think the kids all thoroughly enjoyed it, and even the grown-ups had a good time. What did we have to eat, Toad?
Soup.
Soup. What kind of soup?
Pumpkin soup. But I didn't want any.
You didn't want any?
No.
Did you not have any?
No.
What a shame. It was delicious.
It was delicious, made by our very clever friend Jeanette. To give her a shout out there, say thanks Jeanette for the awesome soup and the roasted pumpkin seeds, which were a little bit spiced. Did you have some of those, Todd?
Yeah, I had loads.
Did you?
Yeah.
They were really yummy. And out on the rest of the table, we had some skeleton-shaped celery and carrot with some beetroot dips that looked like blood. It did. I know you Paula's looking at me really puzzled now, so I'd say I don't remember that, but that's because it was destroyed pretty quickly, but it had been made into a skeleton.
Oh, I missed that. I just saw the celery and ate some. I never saw any Halloweenness to it. Never mind.
Never mind, with some yummy dips. I'd made a pumpkin pie, a Jamie Oliver recipe. In fact, it was a really easy pie to do, and it was very tasty, so I'm going to put a link to that recipe in the show notes so that you can try pumpkin pie too, because it was divine with whipped cream on the top. Yummy. Okay, we also decorated our gingerbread men. What did we decorate our gingerbread biscuits as, Todd?
Cake icing.
We decorated them as cake icing, did we? Yeah. What did we turn them into? Vampires. They had sharp teeth with blood as well. So we had lots of very yummy food. We also had some Monster Munch. Monster Munch, of course, for monsters. And we did a lot of face painting too. Toad, what did you go as?
A werewolf.
What did your face paint look like?
A werewolf.
A werewolf.
A bit of green on.
Green and browns and furry bits and big white teeth. And we also had Frogger, who went as a ghost, but this time we did the Day of the Dead Ghost, so she had a white skull with lots of pretty flowers on. We always use Snazaroo face paints. Last year we didn't. We ran out and we bought some and they were terrible. Do you remember that, Paul?
I remember it very well, yes.
It wouldn't stay on your face. It was oily and it just kind of brushed into your hair.
Yeah, it was rubbish. I just looked like a big white greasy head.
Yeah, pretty much same as usual then.
Yeah, pretty much similar. What I look like in January anyway.
Without the beard. So I really would recommend Snazaroo. We got ours from eBay, I think. Snazaroo, let's give them a shout out because they are the best face paints. If any of our listeners know of any other face paints that are really good, that are even better than Snazaroo, please do comment and let us know, because I like trying them out. Any excuse for a bit of dressing up. We like a bit of dressing up. So I don't know what all of our listeners got up to over Halloween. I don't know whether you went trick-or-treating or did you celebrate All Saints Day? Do you celebrate a pagan Halloween? Do you not celebrate Halloween at all because of other religious views, or you just can't be bothered? Let us know what you were up to. We personally just believe it's all a bit of fun. We like to have a bit of a dress-up. We don't get too serious about it. But, of course, for home educating reasons, you can make so many creative lesson plans, as well as covering a lot of religious education in talking about Halloween and finding out about all different cultures. So there are definitely lots of learning lessons in there. Moving on, I'd like to give a little bit of a shout out to one of our regular listeners who is all the way from Poland. So hello, Marta. You say hello to Marta.
Hello, Marta.
Hello, Marta, who's over in Poland. She's a regular listener who's actually become hooked on our podcast, which is brilliant. And she was listening to our podcast last week and was commenting on how brilliant it is that we live next to the sea. I mean, we think it's great that we live next to the seaside. But, Toad, do you know how long it would take Marta and her family to get to the seaside?
No.
6 hours.
6 hours?
6 hours. And if you drove for 6 hours in our country, you'd pretty much be in London.
You could pretty much go from Land's End to John O'Groats, maybe longer than 6 hours.
Yeah, maybe double that. But, but it's a very, very long time. It just goes to show the size difference between Poland and the UK as well. Because you think of it as being quite small because it's mixed in with all the countries on the European continent. But actually, compared to the UK, I mean, we're like tiddly, aren't we? Like tiddly little triangle floating in the sea.
Surrounded by the sea, yeah.
Surrounded by the sea. So we are very fortunate to be able to walk to the sea from our house.
And unfortunately, it's very easy for us to take it for granted just how lucky we are living so close to the sea. What are we about?
Not
half
even
a mile?
half a mile from the sea. Yeah. We are very, very fortunate. So thank you for your comments, Marta. We hope that you continue to enjoy listening to our podcast, and good luck with your own home educating journey. We're lucky in the United Kingdom that it is legal here. I'm not sure what the law is in Poland. Perhaps we could find out about that. That would be good to find out about home educating in other countries, because I know in some countries such as Spain, you're not allowed to home educate, and in Finland. At least I think that's right, in Spain. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. But yes, thank you, Tomato. If anybody else has any comments, we'd love to find out where everybody is, where all of our listeners are from. Imagine if we got a shout out from all of these different countries. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So hi to Marta, hi to Poland, and hi to all the rest of our listeners.
Hello.
Hello.
This weekend, we popped along to something called the Explorer Club. We, as we've just mentioned, we're very lucky to live by the sea, but we're also lucky to live right in the middle of a national park, and it is the North York Moors National Park. Now, the North York Moors spend a lot of time, money, investing in the land around us to make sure that the land is well managed and can be enjoyed by all. So the Explorer Club is something that has been set up by volunteers. A lady called Tammy is our coordinator, and that's to educate and get families involved in learning and helping to preserve the North York Moors. So we went along to the Danby Moor Centre this time. They were in Osmotherley last time, but this time they were a little bit closer to home. And Toad, can you tell us a little bit about what our activity was whilst we were there?
Well, it was, what do you call it?
Hay? Grass?
Well,
Raking?
yeah, it was, the first one was waking, the second one was catching bugs, and the third one was taking down a stye and then building it back up again.
You took down a stile and built it back up again?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What did you do?
Helped.
What, with a drill?
Yeah.
No way, you did not use a drill.
I did.
You're not allowed to use a drill. You're only 6. You have to be at least 65 to use a drill.
I know how to use them. Dad uses them.
Wow, you know how to use a drill?
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive. I wish I knew how to use a drill. So, you took the stye down, and then what did you do?
Built it back up again, then we went home to have our Halloween party.
Yes, we did. And before that, so so we took the stye apart, we put it back together. We learned about what styes are for and the different kind of footpaths and bridleways. And then we also did some bug hunting. What did you use any equipment for that?
Yes.
Yes, you did. What did you use?
A spade.
Yeah, trowel.
A bug catcher thing.
Oh, I remember. It was a disc that had a mirror in it and some glass around the edge, and you looked in one part of it and actually magnified it so you could see it more clearly.
It must have been like a special bug-catching microscope come magnifying glass type thing, wasn't it?
Magnifying, bug-catching type thing. Precisely that. That was well worded. Thank you.
And the sucking up bug thing.
Sucking up bug thing?
Yeah.
What, actually, like a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah.
I think you may be making that bit up. Was that not just your fingers? Weren't we very careful with our fingers whilst we collected these bits and bobs?
No, it was this little pot.
Oh,
with
there was a
tubes
weird
in.
thing, wasn't there? I never really understood what that was for, Toad.
Me neither.
I must have missed that as I was trying to find changing facilities for baby G. But there's some unidentifiable vacuumy objects in there as well.
I never realised what it was for. Yeah, if I'd have realised, maybe I wouldn't have picked so many of the bugs up with my fingers.
Yes, and unfortunately, accidentally, when I was examining a ladybird in the bug examiner microscopic thing, I didn't realise, but I had actually squashed a snail, which I still feel very, very terrible about. But moving on, what else did we find? What kind of insects did we find?
A centipede.
Yes.
Somebody found this weird bee thing.
Oh, it was a type of wasp. Do you remember what the wasp did? It had a long tail stinger thing.
Yeah, but it wouldn't sting you. It doesn't sting. It has its eggs in caterpillars.
It puts its eggs in caterpillars. Live caterpillars, yes.
And when the babies come out, they eat its way through.
The wasp's egg hatch inside the caterpillar and then devour the caterpillar from the inside.
Yeah.
Ew,
Is that right?
That is gross.
Yeah, it is true.
That's a real life John Hurt moment, isn't it? Blah. I'm doing an impression now of an alien popping out of something. For any science fiction fans out there, I won't go into any more detail, but that is pretty disgusting. How disgusting can these insects be?
Yeah.
How many legs do insects have?
6.
That's right. How many legs do spiders have?
8.
That's right. So that's how you can tell one of the differences between them.
So how many legs do snails have?
0.
Well, they do have a foot.
Gastropods. I love the word gastropod. I just think it sounds tasty. Don't you think gastropod actually sounds tasty, but it just means a mollusk, a slug, part of the slug family. But anyway, I really like that word. What's your favourite insect word, Toad?
Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. It's got a bit of a ring to it. 4 syllables. Paul?
Millipede.
Millipede. I think we caught a millipede. How many legs do millipedes have?
They don't have 1,000,000 or 1,000 even. They have lots though.
They have more than a centipede, which would have 100 legs.
Well, they
thereabouts.
don't though, do they? Yeah, they just have lots.
They just have lots of legs. So do millipedes always have more than centipedes, or are millipedes and centipedes completely different to each other?
Well, apparently, what did the lady tell us about millipedes and centipedes, Toad?
I think
Do you remember?
that centipedes eat millipedes or millipedes eat centipedes.
Well, nearly I sort of hinted at that, yes. Centipedes, I believe she said, eat other insects, probably small insects, and millipedes eat vegetation. So one of them's carnivorous. She did say that I don't think they would eat a millipede. The centipedes wouldn't eat a millipede, too big.
Yeah, and wriggly.
But the centipede was chasing after the millipede.
Was it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be a bit scary. Maybe they were friends, they're just playing a game of Tig. Oh, let's
Maybe.
play a game of Tig whilst these kids are having a look at us through their microscopic plastic mirror bug holder things. I bet they know what they're called.
Yeah.
The bugs. Okay, so we did our bug hunt. We all learned quite a lot and we talked about what we found afterwards. But what did we have to do right at the beginning?
Do dive. No. Pick up hay.
Pick up hay.
Yeah.
Grass.
Yeah.
With what?
Forks.
Forks and rakes, and we had to rake through all of the dead grass and collect it and put it in what?
A big restricted area.
Yeah, a restricted area. Oh yes, it had a sign saying don't go here. We had to load it into our wheelbarrows and then carry it up to the top
Yeah.
because that would allow the new grass to grow. So not only did we learned all about different types of fences and footpaths, bridleways, styles, insects, where to find insects, what they eat. We also learned a little bit about how to begin managing the land. Now, the Explorer Club, if I'm not sure how it all works yet because this is the first one that we've been to, but there are 6 sessions altogether held in various places, and they're very keen, the North York Moors, to get lots of families involved, and it is something that you can do with the entire family. So I'm going to pop a little link down. If any of our listeners would like to get involved in the North York Moors, then do follow that link. Contact Tammy Andrews if you can. And let them know that you're interested, because there isn't just the Explorer Club, but there's lots of volunteer opportunities on the land as well. I always like the sound of being a ranger. They have park rangers, and I would like to be a ranger and drive in one of the lovely grey vans.
It does look like a really good job, that, doesn't it?
It sounds cool.
It does.
Yeah, maybe they could hire us.
I think we'd be available.
I think we'd be available. If anyone's listening from the North York Moors and you would like a couple of new park rangers who could work as a team and probably get you more volunteers in as well, then do give us a shout, because we are hands-on and pretty cool. I would hire me.
Indeed. Yeah.
And I would hire you too.
And we're not bad with kids, let's be honest.
We're pretty good with kids.
Yeah, fairly good.
I'm not sure about pheasants, but I think they are pleasant pheasants.
Well, I'm not a pheasant plucker.
Okay, that's great. So we'll pop a link in the in the show notes there. Do get involved, and we'll let you know how the Explorer Club goes next time, because next time we are off to Runswick Bay, even closer to us. We don't even have to get the car out. Hooray! And I'm not sure what we're doing at Brunswick Bay, but I have heard a rumour that's something to do with crabs. So let's cross all of our toes and claws and hope that we can find some crabs.
And also that there's going to be another gross thing.
Another gross thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we heard about those creatures that eat the other creatures.
Like
What was that
barnacles.
then, Toad?
I can't remember.
Wasn't it something a driller killer she called it, didn't
Yeah,
she?
it was called a driller killer.
And she says what it burrows its way through barnacles' shells and then scoops the inside of the barnacles out and eats them.
Yeah.
Yowza.
Is that any more gross, though, than you finding live limpets and hooking them onto the end of a hook and throwing them in for
We needed bait
crabs?
for our crab line.
See, it's all disgusting. It's a circle of life, and the food chain, it's all right if you're at the top.
And limpets don't taste very nice.
No, don't eat the limpets,
No,
children
very leathery.
and grown-ups. Ugh, no. Okay, moving on. It's time for Score of the Week. Sorry, I'm doing your thing now. Okay, Toad, what has been your score of the week this week?
Explorer Club.
Explorer Club.
And a Halloween party.
And the Halloween party.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, is Frogger joining us to do score of the week? Week? My score of the week has actually been teaching you guys to play chess. I really love chess, takes me back to my childhood, and we've been learning lots about it this week, haven't we, as well? So next week I'm going to talk a little bit about chess, and I'm going to ask you to explain the different moves of the pieces. So Frog has decided not to join us for her score of the week
She's
this week.
cuddled up to Baby G at the moment, so...
Yeah, unfortunately we are a house full of bugs, and not the creepy crawly kind, hopefully, the kind that make you feel a bit rotten. And so Baby G and Frogger have got terrible colds and coughs today, so they're just having a little bit of a snuggle on the sofa by the fire at the moment, which sounds very tempting. Okay, so just before we go, for those of you who are regular listeners, you'll know that a couple of weeks ago we met the children's author Ian Whybrow, who is the author of Harry and the Bucket Full of Dinosaurs, a whole series of books involving Harry and his bucket of dinosaurs. Also, Meerkat Madness and More Meerkat Madness, which we reviewed in a previous podcast. He seems like a very nice chap. We met him in person, and he was quite... a good talker and very interested in home educating families. Ian has since been in contact with us to ask if we know of any local groups that might be interested in talking to him or having him come along to an event to chat to the families, to do book signings, that sort of thing. He'd really like to hear from anybody who might be in the Cornwall area, or if any of our listeners are just really, really excited about the prospect of meeting Ian Whybrow, if they've got big dinosaur fans, for example, and you've got some books to sign, then why not let us know so we can tell Ian Whybrow, and he can maybe come to some kind of arrangement where he could come out and do an event for you. So yeah, that's Ian Whybrow, Harry and the Bucket Full of Dinosaurs author. If any local home educating families to the Cambridge area would like to get in contact, then please do leave us a comment.
Yeah, not Cornwall, Cambridge area.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yes, Cambridge area, not Cornwall, Paul. If anybody would like to speak to Ian Whybrow, then please do get in contact and we'll pass your details on to Ian Whybrow in Cambridge, not Cornwall. Okay, so I think that's about all we've got time for this week. Join us again next week. As I said, we're going to be talking about chess. And hopefully by that time, our Frogger and Toad will be able to play a decent game of chess against each other. Because I played against Frogger today, and she was awesome. She was really good. So I had to put my thinking cap on. So what are your favourite games? Do let us know what you guys are playing. Obviously, there's a lot of educational things to do with games. Okay, so that's about all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Do join us next week where we'll be talking about games that we play and how they can be of educational value. And yeah, if you'd like to get in contact, let us know which country that you're listening from. Let us know what you've been up to this week. What are your topics? What did you do for Halloween? What are your tips for doing Halloween on a budget? Thank you again for listening, and it's a goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.
It's a goodbye from Frogger, Toad and Baby G, who have all disappeared. And it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Bye.